Longtime proponent of a tax cap and also mandate relief. He is Utica area Republican Senator Joe Griffo. Senator, thanks very much for your time.
It's always a pleasure, Liz.
Okay.
I could say how sweet it is after the last one, right?
Indeed. I will not be grilling you as to the details of the Herkimer Diamond bill. You'll be relieved to know, actually.
Very important local industry and product.
I know, it is. Actually, I shouldn't joke. I loved Herkimer Diamonds when I was a kid, so there you go. So seriously, though, let's talk about the tax cap because it was a huge priority for your conference. As far as I can tell, the Senate Republicans actually come out pretty well in this deal. You guys do very well. Would you agree with that characterization?
Well, Liz, this was something that we promised when we came to Albany this year. There was a willingness and a readiness from Senate Republicans to work with Governor Cuomo. I think you saw that from the very beginning. We wanted to focus on tax relief, on creating job opportunities throughout the state of New York, a real focus on economic issues, less spending. You saw it begin in the budget. There was cooperation and consensus that produced a result that avoided taxes, cut spending, and enabled the economy to begin to grow. And I think you're seeing it now. This is a commitment. The property tax cap is something that we have been very solid and firm in our position. And I'm pleased now that we have seen this consensus with the governor's leadership, with the support and the agreement of the Assembly. We have now brought to realization and fulfillment something that is so important and needed throughout New York State.
You know, interestingly, there was actually an announcement about a tax cap deal back in May. I think it was the last week of May. Now here we are pushing into the very end of June, and this got caught up in the big ugly, as we've been calling it. Do you think that because your conference has been holding out so long that you played this waiting game well? Is that what this was about, waiting everyone out?
Well, I think it's about trying to continue to believe in your position and to remain firm if you believe in that it's right. And I think surveys across New York State, interaction with the people have showed that this is very important to them. When you look at census data and you see the exodus from the state, you realize that the taxes have become very burdensome, and we want to continue to allow families to stay in New York and to be able to afford to live in New York. So we just remained firm, because we truly believed in this concept and stood by it, and the governor actually agreed too. We passed his program bill, which this final proposal essentially mirrors that original program bill with some exceptions. Yeah, minor exceptions.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting though about it is there are people who are suggesting that your conference has held out on the gay marriage issue specifically as leverage to get things like, for example, the tax cap. Is that true? Have you been using marriage as a bargaining chip?
No, we have not used anything as a bargaining chip, but we've remained firm in our position, as I had indicated earlier, where we weren't going to really vacillate and we weren't going to give up on the fact that we felt that this was an important issue. It should be addressed first because we believe the economic issues that are confronting and challenging New Yorkers are really the most significant and pressing. So I think that if anything worked, it was that we remained consistent and remained true to the concept.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the cap, though, is that it expires, right? It has a sunset date of 5 years, whereas the rent laws have a sunset date of 4 years. So basically, really, as long as one continues to exist, the other will continue to exist. Is that a trade-off that you feel comfortable with?
Well, I think that, in essence, by virtue of the fact that we know that it's tied indirectly in that way, that if rent control continues, then the property tax will always continue. And rent control has continued over time. And so I believe that while the cap is put on, it really is not going to be something that will prevent this program, and people will see how it will benefit the state of New York from having a problem in any way in the future. So I don't believe that by putting a sunset is going to disable in any way the embrace of the populace, and as a result of that, the longevity of the program. Yeah,
the real key here, of course, is going to be mandate relief, right? I mean, these two things will go hand in hand. We've had all these local municipal leaders come in and say, if I don't get some of the breaks on what I have to pay from the state requirements, then if you don't let me raise revenue through taxes, I'm going to go broke. So what is in that mandate relief deal? Because we know now it's not the 6th pension tier. So what's in there? Do you know?
Right. Well, there's still going to be ongoing discussions about future issues like pension reform, but currently, right now, I think you're going to see a modified version. We had a very aggressive mandate relief proposal and program that we had advocated, but again, you need to find common ground and arrive at a consensus right now. So I don't believe it's the package that we would have liked. Like we wanted to see a ban on all mandates. We have talked about a mandate relief council that would be empowered to really deal with many of the mandates and regulations that exist on local governments and communities and businesses, in addition to the governor's Medicaid mandate relief task force that he has right now.
Right.
So it's not everything that we wanted, but remember the old Chinese proverb, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a simple step. And I believe we're making that important step right now to acknowledge the importance of mandate relief and hopefully to continue to work on enhancing what we have to make it more substantive and significant.
Okay, so you, just to cap the cap, you're ready to vote on this bill when and if we see this bill. We haven't obviously seen any language yet, but you're prepared, even though it's not got everything in it that you prefer, you're ready to vote yes.
Yes, because I think it's embracing the concept, and we're putting something in place that we think is important. We can always work on improving that once it's in place, but I think we need to really be sensitive to the taxpayers of this state, and we have heard them. We campaigned on that, and we're delivering on that. And working with the governor, I think we're going to see a continued success and progress, and so this is an important step that we're taking, and we'll be voting on this hopefully in the next 24 hours.
Okay, so that leaves one large issue left undone. That's, of course, gay marriage. Do you have a feeling yet as to whether your conference will indeed bring that bill to the floor?
I do not. We have had some very good deliberations and discussions. I'm very proud of the members of the Republican Conference for the way they've handled this with civility and respect, and there are very important and significant perspectives on both sides of the issue. So I think it's a continuing dialogue at this point in time, and there's a lot of important things. Even though the time is short, we'll continue to discuss this, and we're going to be here at least through tomorrow and maybe another day.
Do you believe, Senator, that the bill should come to the floor? I mean, I know you're a no vote, but do you believe that really should just get it out of the way and put it out there and let the chips fall where they may?
Well, I think that's a decision we'll make as a conference, Liz. And one of the things we've said is we're not going to really discuss how and what we're saying in conference because we respect one another and are having a very candid and open conversation there. So we'll see how that evolves over the next day or two.
You know, some colleagues of yours, two of them specifically, Roy McDonald and Jim Alisi, have already come out and said that they would vote yes, which of course leaves this bill one vote shy, or needs to be a Republican because there aren't any Democrats left to get, of passage. Do you think that that was fair of them? They upped the ante enormously on you guys. I mean, the pressure is just huge.
Well, it's again, the leader has always said, Senator Skelos indicated this would be a vote of conscience, and it shows that there is a latitude within the conference for people to have their opinions and not to be afraid to voice those opinions, and both of my colleagues did so, and now we're going to continue to have that conversation and dialogue in a deliberative manner, and we'll see what happens over the next day or two.
Okay, Senator, we will definitely be following that, of course. I want to thank you very much for coming in to join us, Senator Joe Griffo. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Liz. Talk to you soon.